After all the hell that a narcissistic relationship has put you through, you may be asking yourself whether any of it was real. Did they ever really love me, or was it all just a lie? The answer to that question depends on your definition of love. Hello everyone, my name is Tia and I'm a licensed psychotherapist. Be sure to like this video, subscribe for more tips, and share this video with somebody who needs it. Once you realize you're dealing with a narcissistic person, you start to understand that their definition of love is monumentally different than yours. Love for a narcissistic person is all about compliance and control. What they mean when they say I love you is I see you as a great addition to me. I want to possess you and use you to make me look and feel better. Narcissistic people don't define love the same way that non-narcissistic people do. However, this isn't obvious early on in a relationship because love bombing looks and feels a lot like love. But love bombing is not love. It's a manipulation tactic used to emotionally influence a person in order to abuse them later. The goal is to develop an intense connection as quickly as possible. It's called love bombing because the narcissistic person has identified you as a target and uses gestures and proclamations of love to gain emotional leverage over you. They use really charged language like, oh my God, we're soulmates, you're amazing, you're incredible, oh, you're so beautiful, oh, we were made for each other, I'm obsessed with you. They overwhelm you with beautiful words and sweet gestures that nobody has ever done for you before. They paint you so beautifully in the beginning that it creates a dependency on them. Since no one has ever seen you this way or treated you this well before, you need them to keep this version of you alive. This intense focus initially feels great because you've never felt more special, desired, and pursued before. And honestly, you're kind of afraid to lose that. Love bombing turns the narcissistic person into a drug that gives you a high unlike anybody else you've ever met. You get addicted to the way that they make you feel. However, once they've got you hooked, they've convinced you to fully surrender yourself to them. Unfortunately, love bombing doesn't last that long. It's only the beginning of a greater cycle of abuse. The next stage is devaluing, which doesn't look or feel anything like love. That previously romantic, sweetly obsessive person that you met before begins to show a much darker side. All of a sudden, you're never good enough. That beautiful picture that they painted of you is destroyed, and you are left scrambling to win their approval and to get that back. This is where the hooks start to show. What they do and what they say in the post-love bombing phase begins to totally contradict what we think I love you means. That overwhelming warmth of the love bombing phase was just a binge before winter's hibernation. Now you're starved of flattery and adoration, and it's been replaced with criticism and manipulation. This type of psychological warfare completely destabilizes a person's perception of reality. All of a sudden, their sense of identity and the source of love is on the line. And in an effort to create a constant reality outside of the love bombing phase, victims of narcissistic abuse will try to shape themselves into somebody the narcissistic person will love again. Now, the power dynamics have obviously shifted. In the beginning, they were chasing you, and now you have to chase them. You're forced to survive on little scraps of love, like focusing on how great the sex is, or that one good night you had together and you didn't fight, or selectively hearing what you want to hear and ignoring all the emotional abuse. You desperately try to hold on to the memory of the love bombing phase, hoping that these are small little signs that that version of them, the person that you fell in love with, will finally come back. In other words, you learn to gaslight yourself to convince yourself that you are loved by them. Inherently in the name narcissist and the categorization as a personality disorder, a narcissistic person's only frame of reference is themselves. It's all about how they're feeling and how they're perceived, because you're just an extension of them. This is true even in the love bombing phase. What you thought was them catering to you was really about making themselves look like the perfect partner and hearing you say how wonderful they are. That way, when the abuse starts later, they have this nice pile of evidence of how great they are to dismiss your valid concerns about their toxic behavior. Now, early on in the love bombing phase, when the narcissistic person says that they love you, it means they want to own you and control you. It means that they have chosen you to be their shiny new accessory and full-time ego manager. To a narcissistic person, when you say that you love them, they take that to mean that you will comply. That's why they only treat you well when you supply them with attention, adoration, submission, sex, and money. They leverage your emotional dependency on them to keep you under their control and chasing their approval. When you're in compliance with what they want and they just happen to be in a good mood, saying I love you may just mean I love me right now and you're here to be my hype man. Let's have a great time celebrating me together. Referring back to that initial question of whether or not they loved you, it depends on how you're defining the word love. Is love a feeling someone has towards us? Is love a way they behave towards us? Or is it a mix of both? This can be really confusing because in the love bombing phase, they verbally expressed feelings of love and they followed up those words with behaviors that seemed to express love. But that didn't last long, did it? Those expressions of love later became devaluation and manipulation. We fall prey to love bombing because we probably weren't ever seen or loved or pursued with vigor in the past. Love bombing looks like the beautiful myths of love that we see in movies and hear in music. But we didn't have that reality of genuine love to be able to tell the difference. It's intoxicating, and intoxication lowers our inhibitions. The answer of whether or not they loved you is both yes and no. To the narcissistic person, they may sincerely believe that they loved you because their definition of love is different than yours. To them, love is a fleeting feeling that comes and goes. Love is a reliance on your narcissistic supply to them, and it's a desire to keep you close for their personal benefit. However, the answer of whether or not they loved you is also a hard no. They didn't love you the way that you tried to love them. When you said you love them, you meant that you care about their well-being, that you want to please them, that you're emotionally attached to them, and that you're willing to compromise to make things work for both of you. Genuine, healthy love is more than just a feeling you have towards someone. It's consistent actions that align with the concept of love. Love is about mutual recognition, that you matter to me as much as I matter to me. In narcissistic love, only the narcissistic person matters. Real love is reliable, where you do what you say you'll do. In narcissistic love, they never have to be accountable for any wrongdoing. Genuine love is being attentive and attuned to each other's needs, while narcissistic love is all about what the narcissist needs. In healthy love, you get to feel like you and not judged for it. Yet in narcissistic love, you'll be shamed and berated for anything other than what they want you to be. Real love is something you can rest in because it's empathetic, it's comforting, and it's secure. Narcissistic love is none of those things. The question, did they love you, is a terrible question to ask yourself. A better question to ask would be, did you feel loved by them most of the time? Or were you just holding on to the memory of the times when they were love bombing you? Or would you say or do the same things the narcissist did to somebody that you loved? When we're caught up in the web of narcissistic abuse, we don't realize that we're keeping hope alive on life support with self-gaslighting. This can be a really heartbreaking blow. Realizing that you loved and surrendered yourself to somebody who didn't love you the same. However, I need you to hear me very carefully. The narcissistic person not loving you does not mean that you are unlovable. It's about their incapacity to engage in the emotional depth of love. Now, if you'd like to learn more about healing from narcissistic abuse and the difference between love and love bombing, check out my playlist on Narcissists. Did you find this video helpful? What was your experience with the love of a narcissistic person? Let us know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching. Remember, like, subscribe, and share this video with somebody who needs it, and I'll see you in the next one.